All European states have resolved to do more for their own security within the framework of NATO, but also of their own accord, even those that are not members of NATO. And in this respect, it is very important that we create the framework conditions for this. So this meeting in Brussels will also be about us discussing in concrete terms how we can put the member states of the European Union in a position where they can spend more on their defense, so that we can have better cooperation in Europe, so that we can make our own contribution to our own security even better than has been the case in recent decades. It is important that everyone here has once again clearly assured that they want to support Ukraine. It is the country under attack, victim of Russian aggression. This is the truth, which is still very clear to everyone, and of course, that also means that we must and want to act accordingly. It is also clear to us that this means that we have to support Ukraine financially and with military means. Everyone knows that the biggest supporters today are the USA and Germany. Germany alone has raised 44 billion euros altogether in support for Ukraine. And that is why international and transatlantic support for Ukraine remains important for the security of the country in Europe. Today we also talked about how we can move forward. It would be very helpful if the bombing stopped, whether it concerns the air conflict or the situation at sea. That would also be the entry point for talks that can then continue. And of course, this also means that we do the things that are important for the future, and firstly, that Ukraine can now continue to rely on support in this situation. After all, Russia is presenting its war unchanged. And it hasn't stopped yet. In this respect, there must be no interruption there. Secondly, that we know that at the core of any future peace order must be that Ukraine can defend itself and has a strong army. This is enormous today, also with the support of many friends, and it will have to remain great in peacetime, far beyond Ukraine's economic potential. And there is another task ahead for Ukraine's European friends, but also for the international and transatlantic partners, all of whom will then remain obliged to make this possible for many years and decades. All security architectures must revolve around this. This is also something that we have just talked about and that I think is important when it comes to the question of the future of the security architecture in Europe. Clearly, this also means that the Russian perspectives cannot be accepted. I want to say this again, Russia has always been concerned with establishing a government in Ukraine that dances to the Russian tune. This is unacceptable. Ukraine is a European country that has decided to join the European Union, a democratic and sovereign nation. It must stay that way. The second is the question of demilitarization. Russia also demands this again and again and cannot be accepted. Conversely, on the basis of the experience that the country, its citizens and all of us have had, Ukraine must be so strong that it will not be attacked again. This will also be of central importance for the future.